Hi guys, welcome to this mini series. Now today we're going to be focusing on a breakdown of upward facing dog. So you probably have done this one as part of a sequence before, and you may have had some adjustments to show you either upward facing dog, where you're bringing the weight onto the fronts of the feet and also the palms of the hands, or you may have done cobra as an adaptation, which is a little lower. So this is going to be focusing on upward facing dog, which is coming onto the backs of the feet and the palms of the hands. So I'm going to give you some cues and pointers for not only coming into it, but also what you need to be doing to make sure you're protecting your back as you're in that pose. So you won't need anything, just a yoga mat today, and let's get started. Okay, so upward facing dog. It's one of those back bend postures, but it's also requiring quite a lot of strength, and I think a lot of us feel like we can't bring our weight onto the back of the feet and through the palms, and it feels like a big transition. But honestly, when people are resting their knees on the ground, it's actually more damaging to the back. So let me give you two examples. So if I come into, firstly, upward facing dog as it should be held, and then how I see a lot of people doing it is knees down, and what that does is it actually increases the pressure in my lower back. When I'm lifted and I'm strong through the body here, there's actually less of a back bend than if I lower the knees. You can see the back bend actually increases. So although it may feel daunting to make that progression and go to the next stage, I would encourage you to give it a go, give it a try. And if that's not working for you, not just yet, you're not there with the strength of holding that posture, then Cobra is going to be the one for you. And I'm going to do another mini series to break that one down for you very soon. So generally speaking, we tend to come into Cobra from usually lowering down from a Chaturanga and drawing through. So I want to show you that, and you will have seen from one of my mini series before is I've done a breakdown of both a vinyasa flow, which tends to feature upward facing dog or cobra, and I've also done a breakdown of Chaturanga to show you how you can make sure that's safe. So I'm going to show you our Chaturanga with knees lowered to the mat, because I know for a lot of us that's where we're at right now, because Chaturanga is a really strong pose. So if we begin in plank, and really important with your plank that the hips aren't really low, allowing the belly to fall out, or higher up and lifted. So you want to find a nice position here in the middle. Arms are about shoulder width distance, fingers are spread, and really important, just pause for a moment, really important to have the inside of the elbows kind of facing forwards. What that's going to do is when you go through your Chaturanga, it allows you to keep the elbows nice and tight and just to protect the shoulders. So from here, coming onto the knees, and then untucking the toes. Really important when you're coming into your upward facing dog, because we're going to come onto the back of those feet. You then lower, squeezing the elbows into the sides of the body. When you come down to about 90 degrees, you pull up through, lift, and then press onto the backs of the feet. So just come out of that cobra for a moment. So a couple of pointers when you're coming into your upward facing dog is you really want to have equal pressure through the palms and the backs of the feet. So much like when you're doing a downward facing dog, you would make sure that the pressure was equal, and the same when it comes into even doing a plank. You want to have equal pressure, so it doesn't feel like there's more pressure through the hands or more pressure through the feet. You want to really equalize that pressure, and a really good way of doing that is make sure you feel nice and strong through the center panel of the body. So you're making sure that you're drawing the belly into the spine. It's really tempting when you do back bends to, let me just move my top up. It's very easy when you're doing back bends to just kind of bend through the back and just allow the belly to come loose, open up the ribs, and really there's no tone through the belly. Now that allows kind of everything to come through the back now. So my back is doing all of the work really here. Whereas actually, when I keep tone in the belly, so by drawing the belly into the spine, and not just that, but actually drawing the ribs in as opposed to allowing them to flare out, that also helps to keep tone in the belly. Then when I do the back bend, yes, the ribs are going to lift a little bit. They're not going to open up and flare. And it will reduce the size of the back bend. If I allow it to go really floppy, I can back bend a lot further. But actually when I keep the tone, it feels much better through my back because I can feel that all my muscles through my front and my back are kind of working together. So the same goes for the feet and the hands. So you're trying to keep this equal muscle tension going through the body as opposed to really targeting sort of certain areas and allowing them to become vulnerable. So when you're holding this pose, you want to make sure that you've got that strength, that sort of held, sort of drawn in, gathered waist, if you like, where you're drawing the belly in towards the spine. And that's going to help to protect your back. It's going to help with strength. Now, if you do classes with me, you know that I talk a lot about reaching the arms up and really reaching up, and it takes the weight. It's the same when it comes to really using your abdominals, using your muscles through this center panel. The more you can do that, the lighter it's going to feel on the hands and the feet, because the body has got some tension and it's already sort of using a really big portion of it. So it's taking the weight out of the hands and the feet. So that's going to help to make it nice and equal. The other thing is making sure you're pushing the ground away. So when you're pressing through the palms, you really want to be pushing the ground away. And you don't want to be sinking into the shoulders and allowing the shoulders to come up by your earlobes. So you're really pushing the ground away. And the same when it comes to the backs of the feet. So let's come back into it, and let's this time not lower down through Chaturanga. Let's just find this pose. We'll step back into it from sort of a tabletop position. So start on the hands and the knees, and then we're going to step back each leg. So firstly, just fan out the fingers, just turn them out a little bit. So again, you've got that positioning where the inner elbows are coming forwards, and then you're going to step out the right leg. And you could come onto the knees if you wanted to begin with, but I'd actually encourage you to come straight back onto the back of the foot and onto the other. Then you're going to lower the hips but draw the belly in, and the knees are just going to hover off the ground. So what I mean by pushing the ground away is I'm not here sinking down with my shoulders by my ears, I'm pressing the ground away. And the gaze is just lifted so that my neck is in alignment with my spine. It's not dropping back or forwards. It's just here in the middle. Come onto the knees, take a little breather. You can maybe even just take a little child's pose for a moment and just take a few breaths there. So, as you can hear, it's not the easiest pose. I mean, all poses, when you do them really well and really safely, they're going to make you feel tired. They are going to exhaust you. And it's just being conscious and aware of all the little prompts that you can do. Another tip to make sure that you're protecting your back is also to engage the backs of your legs and your glutes. So let's try that now as well. So we're going to make sure we're sort of zipped up the front, we've drawn the belly in towards the spine, we're pressing the ground away, but also this time to help protect the lower back, we're going to be engaging the glutes and the backs of the legs. So come back into your upward facing dog. And now what I want you to do is work on squeezing almost the glute muscles and creating a bit of tension through the legs. And again, you'll feel that changes things. It maybe makes it a little lighter on the feet, but you can feel that the muscles are working really hard from the shoulders all the way down to your feet. Come onto the knees. Come back into your child's pose and just take another few breaths. Amazing. Well done. It's not a particularly easy pose, but hopefully those will help you to just execute that pose in a really safe way for your back, and a way that you can get the most benefits out of the pose. So thank you so much for joining me for this mini series video. I really appreciate you joining me and taking part in these breakdowns of postures. I think they're really important because it helps you to practice really safely and effectively for your body. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Let me know how you get on with this video, and I will see you on the next video very soon. Take care, guys. Bye.